third day of November, and we want to officially begin this session of our County Commissioners Court. There's one item on the agenda today, and that's to hear proposals for a team for this Villas ballpark. We've had several proposals come in through the purchasing department, and what our attempt is going to be is to hear those proposals. We're going to draw numbers to see which team speaks first and shares with us their concept and their idea. It's a little different process, and it's much like going out for professional services, where today in court we are going to attempt to rank them in number of order for first choice, second choice, and so on. And then to have a committee that will negotiate with, beginning with the first choice. And hopefully that committee, after reviewing with them, can come back to the court by the next court meeting on Monday and have a recommendation for the court as to which proposal. In these proposals, it's not a situation where you can exactly compare apples to apples. Every proposal is a little unique and a little different. And so there's not really any way that we can do any negotiation here in this format, but a committee of individuals can sit down with them and work through details and some contract negotiations, and to be presented to court for a contract on the following Commissioners Court. At least that's our hope. That's kind of the game plan. And so we're going to draw numbers here in a moment, and the purchasing agent will let us know which team is what number. The names are on the slips. Okay. I think what I'll do is just hold this up so everyone can see and shake them around. This is the first step will be the PCCC League. Should I go ahead and draw the other order? And there's some that everybody knows. That way they can be preparing the order that they come in. So the PCCC League will be first. Southern Independent League will be second. They're stuck together. There we go. Amarillo Community Baseball, third. What's the last one? The Amarillo Dillis will be in last. Okay. Our plan is to give each of these teams 15 minutes, and then we will have a rebuttal after everyone has spoken because of information that may come forward during the discussions that might spark some comments, and so we'll give each team a 5-minute rebuttal. Of course, if the court's asking numerous questions of that group, we will certainly have to provide more than 5 minutes rebuttal. But that's our target times in order to move through this today. So please try to cut to the chase of the comment as much as possible. So, any other comments from the court? Suggestions or anything?
First, I'd like to ask one thing. Are you ready to get started? Or?
Yeah, let's go ahead and begin. Maybe you can't try to speak into the microphone so we can make sure we get an accurate recording over here for our folks.
My name's Andrew Dunn with the Pecos League. Thank you for allowing me the presentation. I'm the commissioner of the Pecos League. Can you hear okay? Is it kind of,
Yeah.
Okay. Obviously, I'm here for the bid process. We would like to have the Amarillo Gold Sox in the Pecos League for the 2011 season. Since October 11th, we have received numerous inquiries of interested people wanting Amarillo to consider the Pecos League for the 2011 season. We believe it would be a great fit geographically, financially, and baseball-wise for Amarillo. A lot of people do not know the details of the Pecos League. It's West Texas, New Mexico League. Although 2011 will be our first season of play, 5 of our existing teams have played in professional leagues in previous years. Our league is set up to operate in the current economic climate, which may not get better for several years. We do not ask for new stadiums. We work with the infrastructure that we have and make improvements to them. One thing that is consistent with our cities is we do have support and backing from the community of the teams. All of our teams are privately owned, and money is not commingled to the pool to support other teams in the league. Teams are required to put a security bond up to ensure that they'll finish the season and comply with league rules and league standards. Our team budgets operate between $150,000 and $225,000 per year. Our salary cap is on the low side $15,000, on the high side $35,000. We see coach families for our players. And in 2011, the Pecos League will have teams in Clovis, New Mexico, Roswell, New Mexico, Alamogordo, New Mexico, Las Cruces, New Mexico, Del Rio, Texas, Alpine, Texas, and a travel team based out of Odessa, Texas, and Juarez. There will be no games played in Juarez. That is a frequent question asked. We will not have any teams cross the border in Juarez or Union. The name Amarillo Gold Sox was presented to us by numerous people. We do not own the rights to the name Amarillo Gold Sox. It was obviously a Texas League team. As you guys all know, in the 80s, they fed the Padres, basically built the World Series team in '84, etc. We believe it would be a great name to bring back the historic value to Amarillo fans. The Pecos League would obviously have regional rivals at Clovis and Roswell, and be the lowest travel cost for an Amarillo team geographically based. Our schedule is 74-game regular season with 43 to 44 home games. We will play exhibition games as well as additional home games. We play limited Monday night games and a lot of 4-game series with 3-game series sprinkled in. Level of play and players. Our teams can have 4 players over the age of 27, which is what we classify as veterans. All teams must have 6 rookies. Our current 6 teams all have connections with affiliated scouts in the Southwest that are helping us build our teams. We have a lot of players that are on the way up. And with the reduction of independent leagues and teams across the U.S., talent will not be a concern for us in our league. We're going to hold an additional 21 trial camps amongst the league between now and the opening of the season, and we believe we will have a very good quality of play in all of our cities. As far as the existing staff, that question's been asked to us a lot. We've briefly spoken to the existing front office staff, and for reasons we did, we would attempt in every way to keep them on board. Money payable to Potter County per bid. You guys have the bid. It's $25,000, and it was in the bid. It was split segments. We have no problem paying all that as one payment upon the acceptance of the bid. Other payments to Potter County walk-up tickets would be 10% of all walk-ups. That's not including season tickets, and that's not including giveaway nights. That would be an additional $25,000 to $30,000 based on 50,000 purchase tickets at the stadium. And that's payable the 1st of every month, June 1st, July 1st, August 1st, September 1st. The concessions, there's a correction in the bid. It said in the bid it was 10% of net concessions. That's 10% of gross concessions. It's payable also the first month. It should be an additional $15,000 to $25,000, which would bring our total money into Potter County would be between $70,000 and $80,000. The Pecos League would get 100% revenue from sponsors and signage in the stadium. Groundskeeping would be paid by the Pecos League. However, the water and electric bill would be paid by Potter County. I'm assuming the property taxes are exempt, or if not, they would have to be paid by Potter County. Outside events, we would host the All-Star Game in Amarillo in 2011. Spoken with 2 NBC teams here locally. They're interested in playing in the games and when we're out of town, etc. Also, we would be open to the event of 16U and 18U tournaments on our off weekends as long as the wear and tear on the field is limited. And we would attempt to get an NBC regional qualifying tournament in Amarillo for the summer of 2011. I've hosted NBC regional tournaments the last 2 years. Other than that, that's the basis of trash cleanup. I guess we pay trash cleanup. That goes in with groundskeeping. That's another question that was asked. But I will open up the rest of my time for questions you guys have, etc.
One question I have is concerning the water and electric. Carrie's not here, but I suspect that's a sizable amount. Does anybody know?
I know. I asked some people that I don't want to name. They run between $20,000 a year.
$15,000 to $20,000
Per year.
Like
Right. That's
cleaning Robert from $10,000 to $50,000 a year.
okay.
And your maintenance, keep the maintenance. I do not know if you have to have a maintenance person in there.
Sure. We're prepared for the maintenance person, but as the proposal stands, it just says that with us, I guess sharing concessions and walk-up tickets, I don't know. That's something that can be discussed if we get further, but this is the base proposal that we have. So,
in the walk-up, where did you get the estimate or the data from the walk-up?
Based on published total seasons
There was 130-some thousand attendance. That would be almost 50% would be walk-ups.
well, but that's not including the giveaway nights, though. That's deducting some of the giveaways. If you have certain giveaway nights, the giveaways aren't included in there, so then it's rounded down based on that.
Nor these season tickets.
Nor the season tickets, so.
I guess what I'm not thinking walk-up tickets are going to be that high.
Okay.
If we're looking at dollars that have come in, and so if we have 70,000 projected, to take 20-some thousand off of that, we're down to 50, depending on if the walk-ups are at 5,000.
But you also have outside events with the tournaments and things.
I'm just thinking 10% of walk-up tickets.
Well, it'd be
I don't know what concession sales were last year, I know what 10%. I mean, from our perspective, we've got to try to come up with what numbers are at least some approximate numbers.
Sure.
In revenue to the county.
Okay. Sure. One more thing about the walk-up, there's also, with additional tournaments and stuff, there'd be additional revenue there, additional dates outside of the league, although it may not be substantial, but I don't know how easy it's going to be to get concession numbers from the group from last year. That's not exactly something I have access to, so this is an estimate that they came up with.
How much the season tickets we had last year? far as the numbers of people showing up?
Any other cities? Las Cruces, and Roswell, you'll have anywhere from 500 to 1,000, and then all the way down to Alpine, which has less than 500. But they have great support as well. And Del Rio will be less than 500, but 500 to 1,000 is a 10 change.
Lots of support for the league.
Absolutely.
How difficult or easy would it be, or the question, as far as the upfront money and allocating that higher amount up front instead of increments of the March or May time frame?
No, not a problem at all. You mean the 25,000? Yeah, that's not an issue. It can be done immediately. So that was a.
He was saying he could pay it front.
Right.
I don't think he proposed.
Right. That's not an issue.
I'm a little concerned about, these percentages. It's a little bit high in the sky. I'd rather, since we have an idea of what total attendance would be, I'd rather have so much per head maybe tacked on, looking into something like that. I mean, it looks,
The issue I have, and you might be able to appreciate this, is I don't have a way to give concrete numbers from last year, so I don't know. I mean, if that was provided to me, then it would be more accurate, but I'm not in a position to have those.
well, we know it's like 130-some thousand total attendance. So, I mean, if we came into your league, it sounds like it will certainly be the largest attendance team in the league. Usually there's 2,500 or so a night versus 1,000, so it'd be more than double. But for us, it seems like if we had $1 a head or something, that'd be $130,000 or 50 cents a head or something. That would be concrete numbers that we could kind of look into. That would.
Or if it comes to that level later down the road, I'm interested in looking at those proposals. I just don't have numbers to work with. So, did you have anything you want to?
I was going to say that this. I always like baseball. I know West Texas Municipal League even before you were born, and I know what I played it did. It was really fun. But this has happened since 19. I guess. What else is that? The park has been built, and we have always geared for $1. And that dollar, and the people who come in, there have been a lot of people that come in there, and a lot of people that come in that never have put anything on that stage to renovate. That said would have been kept out year after year, and whoever the users were that time, in the early years, the thing would be as bad as it is. Something it's bad, but not that bad. It can be fixed. And we're trying to renovate this stadium instead of building a $5 or somebody downtown is going to build a $24 million stadium.
Sure. And the chances of that.
That's what I want to see, that stadium to be renovated instead of somebody building a stadium out there with taxpayers have to pay for it. And the thing that I like looking for is not make money for the county, no. It's money for the park.
Sure.
And that's my idea. It brings baseball somewhere.
Well, we're on the same page with that, and that's we're in the process of that in 4 of our 6 cities. Our rent payment, although it might be $17,000 in one city, $12,000 in another, it goes to lights, it goes to scoreboards, it goes to services, it goes to laser. We're about baseball. I mean, obviously you're going to get bigger bids than mine for bigger leagues. There's no secret about it, but we're an option, and we're about baseball, and we're about the current economy. So we could work together if the time came with the situation. But we're about baseball, and the towns that we're in, as you know the Clovis, Amarillo rivalry, things from the West Texas, New Mexico League. That's pretty much what we're going to be about. So at that same time, with independent leagues closing across the country, the talent level could be much higher than the West Texas New Mexico League, which is a Class D league ever was. So that's kind of the state of the times, and we'd love to be here if that opportunity came. But I definitely would revisit with you guys if you had concrete numbers and felt like we needed to revisit the proposal. And that's
Next two meetings.
Okay.
Going again, that's.
We are at 15.
yes.
Okay. Thank you for your time, sir. And second up is the Southern Independent League.
Good morning. My name is Scott Berry. I am the president of Southern Independent Baseball. I've given you all a packet. I'm not in an effort to save time. That's more informational for y'all. From the standpoint of who we are, we made a presentation last year. We own the Shreveport Bossier Captains in the American Association. We would very much like to bring a team to Amarillo that would be in the American Association. The American Association right now is comprised of 14 teams, and throughout kind of the central and southwest United States, we have teams in El Paso, Grand Prairie, Fort Worth, Shreveport, Pensacola, Florida, Wichita, Lincoln, Sioux City, Sioux Falls, Winnipeg, Gary, Indiana. I probably left out now. They're in the packet, but we are growing independently. We believe we are the premier independent league in the country. I know some people may argue that the Atlantic League is a premier league. They are on the East Coast, play a larger schedule than we do. It's more of a veterans league over there. It's for people that are really kind of, I guess, at the edge of trying to get back into Major League Baseball. We don't believe it's a good model for this area or for the areas that we're in, because we, to kind of amplify what was said before, our league, the salary cap is $115,000. We have 22 players, of which 3 will be rookies, 4 will be veterans. A veteran is someone with 5 years or over 5 years of minor league service. We believe that the play is roughly equivalent to AA baseball. You're going to have some players, for instance, our Shreveport team won the championship this past year. We had a former major leaguer who pitched, I think, for 8 or 10 years in the major leagues. We have a veteran minor leaguer who's been in the minor leagues for, believe it or not, I think roughly 20 years. He was 42 years old and was our second baseman. But I think our model is that the teams are part of the community. They get involved with the community. The coaches get involved with the community. We think we provide a very high quality level of play, which is good for the baseball purist. But we're as well committed to being a vital part of the community, both from a professional baseball standpoint, from an amateur baseball standpoint. We have clinics and we try to do non-baseball events like concerts. I know in this facility there could be some limitations based upon the weather. I know that talking to the former GM that there's a period of time, I think, when the water gets shut off. So we may not be able to do as much, but I think if we want to explore, if we were the successful bidder, we would want to explore ways we could bring in during the off-season events, from concerts to you have wrestling, you have the ultimate fighting and things like that communities really like. So our idea is, I think we have a premier league. I think that we have a nostalgic ballpark. We are, as my proposal says, we are committed to that ballpark. We think it could be a kind of a classic nostalgic ballpark. We, at this point in time, our proposal would offer to pay, as it's in our proposal, $24,000 a year. We could prepay that at the beginning of the year. We have no problem with that whatsoever. We would put in another $24,000 in improvements per year, and that's a minimum. I just chose $24,000. I would want to meet with our GM and work with the county on things that could be done to both help the stadium to would be a better stadium for the community, but would also be good for us as operators to better serve their fans. So from that standpoint, we think that we bring a premier league. We bring a very sound group that would own the team. We're committed to first-class organization. I first talked to Mark Lee, I think, back when the team went through bankruptcy. We bid on it. The bankruptcy trustee allowed me to talk to Mr. Lee. I know at the time he was excited about the possibility of Amarillo being in a league more like this. It is both not centrally owned, it's individually, you have individual owners, strong cities. Our league requires that everybody puts up a $200,000 letter of credit to the league, which protects both the league and the city. In addition, we pay $40,000 a year in league dues, which provide us with, we think, as good of umpiring as anybody in minor league baseball, and a number of our umpires have elevated up through the system and are now in AA, AAA, and are trying to make their way up to the major leagues. I'd be remiss if I didn't. I think the leadership of our league is one of our very strong points. Miles Wolf, who was the owner of the Durham Bulls during the period of time that they filmed the movie, he later was one of the founders of Baseball America. He came and joined us last year when we made our presentation. He is a wealth of baseball knowledge, but more importantly, he is just a good man who is committed to providing fun, affordable family entertainment in the communities we're in. He stands behind us. He would be here today, but for a prior commitment, he would welcome talking to any of y'all. And as we proceeded down the road, if we were successful, I would try and engage Miles in ways that we could take this ballpark and try and make it like Durham Athletic Park, which I have provided that in the material. That was a classic little ballpark that fell into disrepair. They came in and built a brand new facility for the Durham Bulls, but the community and Miles was part of that, rallied around. I think they did kind of a public-private federal government combination, and I think they put over time $5 or $6 million in the ballpark. And it's a great ballpark. It's serving more amateur baseball than it is minor league baseball right now. But we'd be interested in exploring that as well. We are committed to retaining Mr. Lee and his staff. We think they've done historically a great job in this community. From that standpoint, I'm kind of a top-down guy. I would want to hire Mark and then the decisions of Mark. So it'd be his staff, and I have full confidence in Mark and his abilities. We think that Amarillo fits perfectly into our league. The attendance numbers are, put it kind of in the middle of the pack, but we think there's some things we can do to raise it up. I think I provided information in there of what the average attendance was for all of the teams. The teams in our league now range from averaging 5,600 people to probably a low right now of Pensacola, which is 1,100. If they're getting a new stadium, and I think once they get the new stadium, their attendance will pick up. So I think the regional rivalries will be great. I think that the ability to have teams from the north come in and for Amarillo to go north, I think it just makes for a good combination. I think one of the problems that I think in a lot of the independent leagues are that you play somebody 25 times during a season and it kind of gets stale and old and it's difficult to promote. I don't think we'll have that problem with this league. So from that standpoint, the information has our proposal. I've kind of given you an outline of it. We're committed to providing a first-class organization. We think that Amarillo deserves that, and we think we can provide it. And with that, I can open up to you guys.
Scott, what kind of years of lease we looking at?
My preference would be, to have a 4 or 5 year lease that had, options where we could renew it, and so that you guys are in a position if we're performing, we don't have to, you don't have to come back here a lot of times for renewals and everything.
Taking that into consideration, when we get back to the possibility of stadium downtown, how will that fit into your plans?
not part of that. I mean, my plans would be that we lease the facility. We'd see what happened in the community. To give an example, in Shreveport, we've got an older stadium. What I've told the city there is that because there's been talk about a stadium down by the river, we wouldn't give up our lease in Shreveport if we got a new stadium. We'd figure out a way to partner with Shreveport to keep that, it may be that we're managing two facilities possibly, and one is more, amateur ball, community, high school, things like that. And if there was a new one, and the new one, you'd probably want your minor league team. But I don't think to me, that's so much conjecture there, just because I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming that one, they're going to have to go through some political processes to get to that point, and I'm assuming they got to go through a voter approval process. So I'm not banking on that.
Let me ask you, if you're in baseball and you know a lot about, probably about major leagues, franchise, how much do you think, and I'd like to know, so people come here, what it takes to have a baseball affiliated with the major leagues?
Well,
okay, first, how much do you need to be in the AAA, double A? That's the lowest level. What it takes to bring the team from the majors to here. I'm asking this question so people know what it takes and what capacity a state has to be to have a baseball double A or triple A, whatever. I mean, I want to say so people know, and these people here will record it and know what it takes to. For somebody saying, I want to build a ballpark, I can build a ballpark out there.
First of all,
it's not bad. I might be out of well, I'm asking the question. This to me is very interesting that we have a long term with whoever gets the bid. And I'm going to tell people, hey, this new ballpark has to have so much capacity, so much rules that they can comply with that.
Well, to begin with, affiliated ball, the independent movement started in the early 90s because Major League Baseball capped the number of affiliated teams that we did. And when they did that, to your point, one of the things is they created some standards for the ballpark. And so the ballparks for double and triple A, have to be a minimum, I think, of 7,500, 95, actually it's more like 8,500 to 9,000 fixed seats, and the capacity to seat 12 to 15,000 people. There are you can't just go get a new franchise. To your point, you've got to go buy a franchise and move it to Amarillo. You have two things you got to do. You've got to, one, go buy that team, which the going price, I think the cheapest price I know of recently is $9 or $10 million, and it's usually more like 14 or 15 million.
9 or
10 million minimum. That's going to be finding a franchise that's got problems. In addition, if you're moving it from a league, an existing league, you've got to pay an exit fee from that league, which is usually about $1 million, and you've got to pay an entry fee to the new league you go in, which is another $1 million. So it's extremely expensive to get affiliated ball, and the major leagues and the organized minor leagues are very, very picky, particular, both with their standards, as I've said, for the field, for the area, for the development, and they're not looking, for instance, in the Texas League. The Texas League we've talked to before when we went into Shreveport. They're not looking really for any new markets in Texas. And AAA isn't looking either. So it's a very difficult, expensive process.
In your opinion, it's not feasible in Amarillo, Texas. Is that what you're?
I think it's highly unlikely. I mean, I think
sounds like we'd have to have a stadium plus that. We'd be looking in excess of maybe $30 million.
Correct. You'd have to have a stadium, and you'd have to have a private individual who would go out and buy that team to pay those fees.
But I guess to be fair, too, that dependency and so there's a high fellow. If that individual was not looking for a franchise league to affiliate in this area that could be multi-purpose use. And would you consider being a part of that if, hypothetical, of course, if that came to reality?
Well, I think we have to consider it, just because I don't think that Amarillo is large. I mean, Amarillo isn't large enough to have two independent teams playing in it. Now, the one caveat I'll put on that is that, and this goes to my point about being able to let it out to other people at County Stadium, is you could have a league like ours in a facility like that, and we might could engineer some, a collegiate league or something like that in the county facility. I mean, that's not out of the realm of possibility.
Just talk questions about what is your salary range? You may have improved this, I'm not sure.
Well, it's the salary cap is $115,000. We just revised it. The player's salary will range from anywhere from probably a low of $800 a month to a high of $3,500, something like that. I mean, these guys are playing either for the love of the game or for the opportunity to get picked back up or get a first chance.
I know we're running out of time here, but I think one of our concerns is that hopefully the lesson we've learned is that when we leased out the stadium in the past, the money has left here, gone to support other teams in the league that are struggling. And while this has been the cash cow of the league, the money has left this community and gone to fund other things, and it's very frustrating for the citizens who love baseball here. That's part of why I feel like if we had a cost per head or something, at least we know those monies can be pumped back into the repair of the stadium. This is not a money-making thing for Potter County. We hope to break even, and we hope to take any monies that do come in and pump it back into the stadium and repair it. We've had trouble in the past. Part of your proposal talks about you going out and getting some donations and things for repairs and things. We ran into a lot of problems with that because sometimes the donations that come in are not certified people. For instance, you get a donation of doing some electrical repair, and maybe then you've got this electrician over here donating so much, but it doesn't fit with ours. We prefer to have our maintenance go through our maintenance department, and quite frankly, in my opinion, we'd rather have the money and let us hire the people and do the maintenance on it. Now, concerning scoreboards, things like that are indigenous to the game that you're actually playing. Sure, if you get donations and things like that for advertising and those kind of things, paying the stadium the rights to do that, that's all right. But as far as the actual repair to the physical structure, I prefer it to go through our maintenance department, because when we got into that before, we had a variety of things going on out there, and some of it was pretty shoddy work, to be quite honest. It happened, and now we're having to go back and do things. I remember, there were decks and things that were built that were not properly done. So, I prefer really to have a cost per head or something, and all of that money go into the maintenance of the stadium. But that's just me. It's something for negotiation, but I can just say that when we have done this, get donations for repairs to the state, it hasn't worked well for us in the past.
Well, just to that point, we would not have any problem working with your staff. I worked some with Mike last year, and it'd be very similar to what we did in Shreveport. We don't do anything in Shreveport without the city's approval and without somebody on staff being involved. There were certain projects that the city wanted to supervise and be in control of. There were some that, like you said, that they said, hey, just let us just let us oversee, and we could totally do that. And as you'll see from those pictures, we brought in a scoreboard, we did concession stands. One of the things that isn't in there is the picture that's in there that the behind glass area. This past year, we took that with a sponsor and basically created 2 decks, and it was the biggest hit of the season this year, where it was basically an all-you-can-eat deal people came up with. So, and we did that kind of a combination. The city did part of it because they wanted the structural integrity to be there for the flooring, and we did the rest of it. So we can negotiate that.
What are the average
City prices for your information?
What?
That's 15.
We're at 15. Okay.
You want me to just answer one
Well, you
question?
said, well, this is a phrase. I think what the City's trying to say is this, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right, to be correct, is that you go out there and trade something to be done in the ballpark, it's not done right.
Yeah, if it's,
You know,
it's got to be done to our standards.
Yes.
And I agree with that.
Like I had said, and they would say, the city is real nice and clean. I want people to go see that, Thursday or today, whatever it is. It'll be open Thursday, I'll be there at 11 o'clock tomorrow. But like I say, I know what you're coming from. All I want is our city to be taken care of. And let's say it's a beautiful state. People might not realize it is a beautiful state. Instead of the baseball stadium, not those saucer like other stadiums. But anyway, I'll leave it there.
Appreciate your time. Third up is the Amarillo Community Baseball.
Mr. Kirkwood. I'm Ratcliffe, and I am the spokesman for the concept we have for a local baseball team. Clearly, we're the rookies in this operation because we thought we could give you $50,000 in a percent, and everybody else is only offering you 25 and 24. So I guess we know what we're talking about on rent, but it just seemed like you ought to at least get $50,000. But be that as it may, I want to address what Mr. Perez talked about. You guys are talking about that park. It's on the internet. I think it's called baseballparks.com. It is one of the unique historic ballparks left in the United States. And talked about it as 2 concession levels and et cetera, et cetera. I didn't know it was that good. But I mean, they actually talk about it. Almost as if it's something you might could go get some money from, don't say the federal government, everybody hates the federal government right now. But that thing is unique enough you might could make that work. That fairgrounds is a unique place. You guys are all too young, but I know Perez and Kelly are old enough to remember going out there and watching Stanley Blackburn put on wrestling matches. Wrestling, not wrestling, wrestling. I used to go out there and watch boxing matches. Anyway, that place was unique. I certainly don't believe that you should build a downtown stadium because if you do, you're going to destroy that place. I mean, that place is also, unlike the gentleman who spoke earlier, I don't plan on doing anything with it other than playing baseball games. Period. Pure and simple. All right, I got sorry. The concept came. There are 500 people involved in this. I'm the main guy because I'm the fool who's willing to put up the most money. We really would like to sell shares. Well, you're not going to make that much money probably, but you want to give the people an opportunity. Probably sell the shares for $100. One of the concepts we had, and I didn't run it by your legal staff, was having one of you all or your designates on the board if that's legal. If that's not something that could be done, you couldn't do it. And maybe you don't want to be part of that. I mean, I've had some people tell me when I'm talking about this, say, boy, that thing is an albatross. What are you doing? Well, I'm retired, and I've got about $250 million I don't need right now. And it's...
Can I give you my phone number after? Got some people to feed.
No, if you want to, I mean, we're sitting there right now, we have that much money we can put up. I don't plan on losing it. When I said I don't need, I didn't plan on giving it away. But it's something you can chance. As I told you in my proposal, I don't feel comfortable going to the American Association. As Mr. Berry says, that's a top flight league. There's no question. I don't know that I want a salary cap of $150,000. I feel more comfortable with Andrew's numbers. My numbers, I thought I could probably play in this league for 50,000. I thought I could probably play in class for 50,000. But to me, that's a more logical home for Amarillo. Now, one of the teams that he didn't mention in regular, I thought St. Paul was in, but they might not be in it. All right, I don't know that I want to travel to St. Paul. Don't think I can drive a bus there. Maybe I can. It's a long bus ride. I don't know that I want to go to Pensacola. And I'm looking at something more regional. The real answer, if you want to know what my thought is you take the good teams in Bryant's operation and the good teams in his operation, you put them together, you can have a good 8 or 10 teams. And I think eventually that'll come to pass. But I think you need to keep the team local. Commissioner Kirkwood hit on it. For too long, this has been this cash cow for people from out of town. Now, Mr. Berry doesn't sound quite like people who've been doing that, but Mr. Berry's got 2 teams. He's got a team in Shreveport, which didn't draw near what the Amarillo team did, as I recall. And if I'm not correct, I feel sure he can tell. I don't see how it makes that Shreveport operation work in the American Association, drawing 70 or 80,000 people there. And it might be the team coming here. And if it is, then I don't have any fear that we be supporting Shreveport. But anyway, he seems like a good guy, and his ideas of being there so that's great. If he can do it, you guys want to do it, and more power to you. I just don't feel comfortable trying to find that. We would run an operation that would involve the community. One thing we thought about, there used to be a way how you had the concessions run by Alamo Catholic. You remember that was done one time? And not that I'm for very Catholics, but I'm just saying, there are community groups that could do that. I'm sorry, I'm not big. Oh, I am just Alex thinking of big time. I apologize. My wife said I should have brought a hand out. You could have, you possibly set it up as a nonprofit. I haven't explored that. Kim's over there just cringing. But I mean, if you set it up as a nonprofit, then you might even include some of the probation people coming out and doing some of their work. I mean, that'd be a good thing, especially for young kids working around. I mean, there's nothing wrong with young kids. You could also involve the high school baseball players. It could just be a community thing. One of the teams that Mr. Dunn has, if I understand it, and Alpine is a community operation. And that's the reason I think work, you can't figure out why Alpine can work. They have a stadium they give basically for free. Is that right?
Yes, sir. It's a big event.
Yeah, and it's a big deal. And it should be a big deal here. And I might not be the right guy. But if you would talk to me and say, look, Paul, you're just too old. But why don't we have you also get Bill and Bob and Joe and Frank, and we can make this thing work. I've got no ego involved whatsoever. But nobody stepped up. And you know why I can't give you 5 guys' names who will give me $10,000 each? They don't think you guys are going to give it to us. And they don't, there are certain guys in the community who get stuff, but they don't want to be have names out, especially if it doesn't work. And it can work. I really don't know. And I think it can work in Bakersfield. I think it can work in, assuming Mr. Bryan and Mr. Pierce still have it. I don't know whether you know. Assuming that it can work soon. And I think I can do it. I've been able to do a lot of things. I tried to talk to Mr. Lee, but was not able to. I didn't get back to town about a week ago. And from what I gather, he's very capable. Well, I got his staff to and I think they could run it. I've got a number, which maybe I'm crazy, but I don't want you to run that thing for much less than $350,000 to $400,000. Because I think I wrote down some numbers, and I don't think you travel that cheap. I've got $50,000 for travel and hotels and meals. I've got rent to you guys for 50 plus something. I've got $40,000 for utilities. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe electricity and water are cheaper than I think. I've got $30,000 for maintenance. Maybe that's wrong. Maybe that place, maybe sheep grades and grass themselves. I have no idea. And that's one reason I'm looking at maybe and say, oh, I don't know that guy. I didn't know he's talking. I've got salaries, very much in the line that he has. We've got manager, assistant manager, GM. I don't know what they pay Mr. Lee, but I would think you pay $20,000 for a piece of the action or something. He might be happy to do it. That's something that you can negotiate. You seem to like, Commissioner Brooker, my idea that you get a piece of the gate. I don't like it per head because of this, and I'll explain to you why. I don't know how many that 139,000 today. You notice it said 139 admissions. I don't know how many will pay. See, the only people who can really make a really intelligent bid here are the guys with the numbers. I don't have them. But you know one thing about my idea of putting one of you guys on the board, you will have the numbers. Or one of your designated. You will have the numbers. And I think that's important. It's a county-owned project. The people ought to know what's going on. And as you so aptly put, the money shouldn't be given back. I don't know. I probably said enough to disqualify myself. That's about all I've got.
Let me ask you, Judge. What league are you or going to be in?
We were going to look at either his operation or Brian's if it's still working. But basically, we wanted whoever you guys, assuming we put one of you guys on it, we want your input too. But no, I'm telling you, we would not apply to the American Association. I mean, just think that's above. You know, we're starting. I don't know that I want to start at the best league in the world. I mean, if what he says is the best independent league, it probably is. I've gained a lot on the internet. You know, there's a lot on the internet about the Amarillo village and what's going on here.
Judge,
yes.
and I appreciate your passion, and for Amarillo, it's obviously there. You've done your homework, put together the numbers. But follow up on Commissioner Perez's question as far as what league, logistically, would you have enough time if this bid hypothetically was awarded to you to join another league? Would you have enough time in order to have baseball for 2011?
I suspect I can make a deal with Mr. Bryant and Mr. Dunn. But both of them are here because they want this place. Both of them need this place. And obviously, Mr. Dunn would rather have it himself. And as far as that goes, if he wants it, he can have a third of it or half of it or something. But we need some control. I mean, wouldn't you have been more comfortable with Mr. Bryant and Mr. Pierce if y'all had maybe owned half of it?
You know,
And know what was going on?
yeah, you know, Judge, first of all, I love your passion for the community. You've always been passionate about this community. That's how I feel. I love this community.
I know you do.
And I care about the people here, and we want baseball. And that's why I said at the beginning, you know what, Potter County has a stadium. Why don't we just hire a general manager and hire our own team? And it's a non-profit, and we go out and play ball, and everybody have a great time.
I second the motion.
And I ran into some hurdles in that, and so it's kind of like sometimes you have to punt when you don't want to. But my heart is much like yours in this thing, and it may be that we can't get there at this point. I don't know, but
If you get out, this is the most opportune point to get to. You don't understand how bad ULB needs you. Go on the internet and read about what's been going on. I mean, they need you bad.
One of the things that I liked about your proposal was the selling of shares. What would the shareholder benefit from buying?
It would be pride, et cetera, et cetera. You know, what do you want to do? Obviously give a place to park. You know, there'd have to be something, a better place to park, a better seat, something to hang on their den wall with their friends. You tried to, it's free to court. You wouldn't go there.
it'd be like buying a brick down there at City Hall with your name on it.
Exactly. And if you're saying, and that's the reason why it's only $100. Yeah, if it was real money. Yeah.
That's, you know, you mean you're a good place.
Here we are. And that's the reason I talked to you about this.
But this is considered business. And I'm going to tell you straight out how I feel about it. You got good ideas, but the ideas only work for just a little bit.
What do you mean? That's what I don't
Let me
understand.
tell you why. I was out there that city painting that thing myself.
That's what you do. You things.
Yeah, I paid it up there, and I got proof. And it was on television. How many people do you think they show up? 2. You know who the word of two?
Yeah.
Me and my wife.
You and Mike.
Mike.
I know Mike.
Okay. And then they built, the city built a $28 million barn out here, what I call it. But people can even afford to go out there and well, and they can even donate to renovate a beautiful stadium down in Park County. That's what I was saying. This is nonsense.
What I told you.
The city is nonsense.
What's
The only thing
you're talking
about
about downtown.
Downtown, yes.
Oh, I agree with you, but I mean, I'm not.
I'm saying. But see,
I second that motion.
We can't even get somebody to donate to start renovating the ballpark. Like I have talked to several places, wealthy people. They don't. But they still want the taxpayers to make a brand new stadium.
No, but
Thanks, all.
you were saying about my dad. No, I don't think I'm going to go sell 250,000, 2,500 people to give me $100, Kelly. To have, no, I mean, if I didn't have the money over in this word bank, I wouldn't be here. And my grandkids are not that thrilled. But I don't know what lose money. I didn't come down to that pass to lose money. But also, I'm not trying to make a whole lot of money. We just need this thing local. If you give me a chance to negotiate with you, I think we could do more than you think.
I'm not sure that you couldn't sell 2,500, and I'd probably be one of them.
No.
I think it's a great idea.
That was the you like. I'm sorry, man.
We're
We're
running out of time here, Judge, but you've said some things that I think we need to certainly take note of and could very well affect how we look at this thing.
Let me add one thing. If in fact you don't think we consider making one of the requirements that there be some local ownership, and if there is local ownership, the right, Kent and I will tell you, it has to be a certain percent to be valued. In any corporation or LLC, you have to have a certain percent ownership to be able to get the records, et cetera, et cetera. So make sure if you did want to do that, you had the number enough where you really had some out there. You understand what I mean? If I can recreate that, or what you can do that, right? I mean, you explain what I'm trying to say. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I'd love to have local ownership and have the leagues come and bid and see whether we got in or got out.
I think we can do that now, if you want. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Judge. Okay, fourth up is the Amarillo Villas. Anybody here from the Villas? Should we read just the first part of this?
Except, and I'll tell you, the mediation has been kind of scheduled on the bill is scheduled for November.
So mediation with the Villas is scheduled for November as well.
We used to see this fall, you don't have to wait for that, do you? That's your call, right?
Mr. Mazzola is here.
He wasn't in there.
I think he was earlier